Hello, Cancer. I'm Jen with Timeline Tarot, and these are your predictions for July 2025. I've set the intention of this reading to be for Sun, Moon, Rising, as well as Venus. So if you're a Cancerian, Sun, Moon, Rising, or Venus placement, odds are this reading is for you, or there's some message in this reading for you. If you're not sure what your placements are, in the description box is a link where you can obtain your free birth chart. Take a look at that site, and then just come back here and watch the July 2025 predictive reading for that particular placement. All of them should be up by the end of the week. Keep in mind, my love, that this is a collective general reading. It is not individualized nor personalized to you, and therefore messages may come through today that don't fully resonate. And if that happens, don't get upset. It just means it's meant for another Cancerian or another Cancerian placement watching. So just take what fits, how it fits, and leave what doesn't. And of course, if you would like a one-on-one live Zoom tarot reading with yours truly, please visit my website, thetimelinetarot.com, for more information. With all of that said, let's begin. And hopefully that AC unit in the back isn't too loud for you, but it's been very, very hot here in the Northeast lately. We've hit 100-degree weather, so unfortunately I do need to keep it on during the reading. So let's tap into the Cancerian collective now for July 2025. What does Cancer need to know? And if you're celebrating your birthday this week, I'd like to wish you a very happy birthday, but also a very happy birthday to all Cancerians watching. One more shuffle here, please, and thank you. So in the heart of your spread, my darling, we have the Ace of Wands. In the top row, we have the Five of Cups, the Four of Cups, the Knight of Wands. Flanking your Ace of Wands is the Nine of Pentacles and the Tower. In the bottom row, we have the Nine of Swords, we have the King of Swords, and we have the King of Pentacles. Bottom of the deck now is just a little sneak peek into August. We have the Ten of Wands, we have the Hermit, and we have the Seven of Swords. I'm going to take this as well, Seven of Wands to the Six of Pentacles. That leaves the Hierophant, Justice, and Ace of Cups here at the bottom of the deck. I'm going to clarify these cards now with the After Tarot deck. The cards in this deck have a slightly different meaning than the original Rider-Waite-Smith Tarot deck that we've all come to know and love. And so I'll give you those meanings and interpretations as we move through your reading. So let's clarify these cards now for Cancer, please. Sun, Moon, Rising, as well as Venus. We are clarifying, my dear, the Five of Cups, Four of Cups, Knight of Wands, Nine of Pentacles, Ace of Wands, the Queen of Cups just wanted to show itself, the Ace of Wands, the Tower, the Nine of Swords, the King of Swords, and the King of Pentacles for Cancer, Sun, Moon, Rising, as well as Venus. One more shuffle now. Thank you. Five of Cups is clarified by the Six of Cups. Four of Cups, clarified by the Four of Swords. Knight of Wands, clarified by Temperance. Nine of Pentacles, clarified by Four of Cups. Ace of Wands, clarified by Page of Wands. The Tower, clarified by Judgment. Nine of Swords, clarified by the Emperor. King of Swords, clarified by Page of Cups. And the King of Pentacles, clarified by the Ace of Cups. Bottom of the deck, we have the Magician. Again, sneak peek into August. Magician, Tower, wow, Chariot. I'm going to clarify that as we get closer to that portion of the reading. It may be clarified in the July spread, but if not, then when we take that sneak peek into August, I'll definitely clarify that for you, because that's a lot of heavy divine intervention there for some particular reason. So let me give you an idea of how I have the 9-card spread laid out. I've basically taken the month of July and I've split it up into 3 sections, a third, and a third. So first 10 days is the top row, the middle portion of the month is the middle row, and then this final row down here is like the last 10 days of the month. In the heart of your spread, we have 2 cards, and that is your overall energy for the month of July. Your overall energy is the Ace of Wands to the Page of Wands. Ace of Wands, passionate, new, creative spark, whether that's in career and finance, love and romance, projects around the home, skills you want to learn, current skills you have that you want to expand upon, maybe a hobby you want to get back to or a new hobby that you want to learn. Again, this can be anything for you. It's a collective general reading, but your overall feeling this month is leaning a little bit into the fire energy and wanting to move towards situations, environments, or connections that kind of set your soul on fire in a good way. And this is further clarified by the Page of Wands. Now, in the After Tarot deck, the Page of Wands is walking towards their destination, towards their Ace of Wands, leaving behind an individual here. And that individual could be anything, again, habit, pattern, situation, environment, or connection. In the original Rider-Waite-Smith Tarot deck, the Page of Wands is just discovering what else is out there. I call it my Lewis and Clark adventure card of tarot. It's like before I actually take the Fool's Journey of the Fool card, in the minor arcana version of the Page of Wands, I need to discover what's out there before I literally take the leap of faith. However, in the After Tarot deck, the individual is well on their way to the Fool's Journey and walking away from what no longer serves them in order to find this Ace of Wands. Most of you looking at the cards have identified what this Ace of Wands is, and that's why you're moving towards it. Let's take a look at how you're entering the month. 5 of Cups to the 6 of Cups. You're entering the month of July. Something from the past, situation, environment, or connection. There's this feeling of nostalgia, thinking about the past, thinking about returning to the past, feeling regrets or remorse about what transpired in the past. It definitely is this feeling of reflection, thinking about what was, what could have been, what should have been. Not the happiest of feelings by any stretch of the imagination. It's a little bit of a solemn feeling here, just thinking about the past. Like I said, what could have been, what should have been. Some of you could also be entering the month contemplating returning to the past as well, whatever situation, environment, or connection that is. Next, we have the 4 of Cups to the 4 of Swords. I feel like whatever that was in the past for you, it wasn't as emotionally fulfilling as maybe you had hoped it would be. Because in the 4 of Cups card, the individual is just kind of lamenting. Again, it's this feeling of what could have been, what should have been, what wasn't. And there's heartache in this card. Actually, the divine is trying to bring something new into your life, or a spark of inspiration, or offer opportunity. But it's almost like the Cancerian collective is rejecting it. And the reason why they're rejecting either making this choice, making this decision, or moving forward from the past is because something just didn't quite pan out the way that they thought it would. If I'm counting cups here, you know, I have 5 cups plus the 4 is 9 cups. And then if I add the 6 cups to the 4 cups, it's 10 cups. So whatever this was in the past, it meant a lot to you emotionally. It either was like wish fulfillment, or it was one of the cups that added to the overall emotional fulfillment of your life. And it's almost now like it's been taken away from you. It's not that you took it away. It's this feeling of it shouldn't have happened this way, or it shouldn't have ended this way. And we have the 4 of Swords, and what precedes the 4 of Swords is the 3 of Swords. So I do see you healing here in respect to something pretty emotionally, I'm going to call it catastrophic, that occurred here, because it really rocked your emotional foundation to some degree. The next card we have is the Knight of Wands to Temperance. Temperance is the master alchemist, if you will, of tarot. It is Sagittarian energy. It also is Archangel Michael. But in the Temperance card, the individual, the archangel here, has 1 foot on land and 1 foot on water. So I do feel like you're trying to find balance as you're moving forward, Knight of Wands energy from this. You're trying to move past it. Whether or not you're looking to reconcile with this individual just yet seems to be, or situation, you know, experience, environment, whatever it has been for you, it's different for each of you. There's still this desire to possibly want to reconcile the past, but not wanting to do so immediately. And so while the Knight of Wands is usually, you know, that's Aries, Leo, Sag energy, and we've got, you know, some of you could be dealing with a Sagittarius now that I'm looking at the cards, but or just a fire sign in particular. But anyway, the overall feeling is I'd like to either move back towards this or move away from it. But regardless of which path you're thinking about taking, within the first 10 days, you're not really doing anything about it, to be quite honest, because you're trying to be very balanced and very patient when it comes to this. The Temperance card talks about patience. It talks about healing. So for some of you, you could be thinking about moving on from this situation, environment, or connection. For others of you, you're contemplating returning to it. But either way, you're not moving in any direction. There's an intense amount of emotional healing here taking place for the Cancerian collective in the first 10 days of July. There is that spark, though, within you, again, either wanting to move forward or move back. So I don't think that you're sitting in this for much longer. Again, we're just looking at the first 10 days of the month. And so although there's this emotional grief that you're dealing with, there's still this feeling of there's something out there or something that I can do. And this is flanked by the 9 of Pentacles and the 4 of Cups. The 9 of Pentacles is a very independent energy, right? This is like pre-Empress energy, regardless of your gender. So it's almost like I know, right? Like mentally, I know that I'm okay. Whether this person has passed on literally like from the earth. They've passed away. And as much as I may miss them and I'm thinking about the memories of them, I know that I'll be okay. In the Nine of Pentacles energy, it's a very grounded energy. If this is separation from an individual, friend, family member, or lover, the overall feeling is, I know subconsciously I'll be okay. I know that I'm strong. I'm speaking like you. I know that I can do this. But there's still that overwhelming feeling of, if that, person is still alive, and I believe for most of you that they are, it's still this feeling of, I wish that they would have been different, or I wish that things would have transpired differently with this individual. The one thing that you're gaining in the middle portion of the month is a lot of earth energy entering your energy. And so this is what's keeping you grounded and helping to restabilize you after what appears to have been a very emotional, again, I go back to like emotionally chaotic time for you. And maybe it's because Jupiter was leaving Gemini and entering your sign. It could have caused a wave of emotional disturbance for you until the planet literally transited fully into your sign. But either way, what remains is a very independent Cancerian here by the middle portion of the month. So if you have been feeling kind of like on an emotional roller coaster, I want to say to hang in there. For some of you, this started in April. I don't know why that just came to me. So maybe for some of you, it's been like this when the highs are high and the lows are low type of roller coaster, emotional roller coaster feeling. But I do think that it's balancing out for most of you. So by the 10th or 12th of July, you should start feeling a lot better. What's interesting to know is the Four of Cups here. So the Four of Cups, and at the time of seeing this reading, I'm recording this, what's today, on the 24th. I'll probably release it on the 25th. What's interesting here, and you may not believe it at the time you see this reading, is that by the time you get to the middle portion of July, you're no longer going to either want this, or you'll no longer want this in the way that it used to be. So what do I mean by that? What do I mean by, if this individual, and I do believe for most of you it's an individual, but let's say that they are to return, and I do believe for some of you they are, looking at the cards here. If they don't show up in their best form, I feel like you're rejecting them. In the After Tarot deck, the Four of Cups, the individual is pouring out that cup that you kind of were longing for in the first portion of the month, in the first third of the month. By the time you get to the middle portion of the month, when this individual comes around, or this opportunity or experience, whatever this has been for you, comes back around again, I almost get the feeling like if it doesn't come correct, you're not interested in it. And for those of you that are like, you're longing for reconciliation with this person, whether it's a friend, colleague, family member, lover, you may not believe that at the time of this reading, but something's going to shift and change within the Cancerian collective, where you will know your worth. And almost like that Gemini reading that I did earlier, it's kind of like with or without you. I'm good with or without this person. Again, you may not believe it now, but I do feel for most of you by the middle portion of the month, that's exactly how you'll be feeling. Now, if this isn't a person, this could be an idea that you had. Maybe there was something here that you wanted to launch. Could be like a business. Maybe for some of you, you launched it and it failed, and there's a lot of sadness and remorse. Like, I could have did it differently. Maybe I launched it too soon. Maybe I didn't market it correctly. It could be that. We don't have a lot of pentacle energy here. Actually, I don't think we have any pentacle energy here except for that King of Pentacles. But let's say for some of you, this is business related. This would be the feeling that I'm going to launch this business again, but I'm doing it differently. For some of you, maybe you've been dragging your heels on launching a business because you're dealing with other emotional things going on in your life. But by the middle portion of the month, I see you kind of like taking that emotional hardship that you've had and kind of tossing it aside and saying, all right, back to launching this business. So this could be a lot of different things for you. So whether it's career and finance, like I said, love and romance, a platonic connection, the overwhelming feeling by the time you get to the middle portion of July is you're looking for things that literally set your soul on fire. You're done with the crying. You're done with the what could have been, what should have been, how this person should have shown up in this connection with you. And if you are literally grieving the loss of someone who has passed, which I think for at least one of you watching, that seems to be the case here. I'm not saying that you're over the loss by the middle portion of the month, but you are getting back into the swing of things and enjoying life more than you did before. On the other side of the Ace of Wands to the Page of Wands, we have the Tower to Judgment. This is what I'm talking about, this radical shift. So again, if someone has passed away, my condolences to you. It looks like this was someone who was very important to you because you've been grieving this for quite some time. And for all I know, for some of you, this person could have passed away in the last year or two. And maybe within the last couple of months, maybe it was their birthday, maybe it was the anniversary of their passing, could have re-triggered all of those nostalgic feelings, all of those feelings of loss for some of you. So I just want to say that The radical mindset for those of you where you physically have lost someone by the middle portion of the month is I need to get back to living. This person would have wanted me to do that. They wouldn't want me to sit and just cry endlessly over their loss. They would want me to remember the good times. Five of Cups to the Six of Cups there again. It's returning to the past, but in a good way. And this person would want me to go on with my life. If this is a disconnection with a friend, family member, like I said, could even be your neighbor for some of you, I don't know, it could be a lover. The radical feeling here is I need to get back to living. I can't sit in the sorrow of what this person did to me any longer. I need to get back to my life, whether that is getting back to nurturing myself, getting back to business, getting back to opening my business. It's a shocking realization that I need to get back to living. I need to get back to taking care of myself. The judgment call also talks about possibly returning to the past, listening to your inner calling, and maybe giving this situation, environment, or connection another chance. But what's radically different in the After Tarot deck is that the past is done. There's like, in the original Rider-Waite-Smith Tarot deck, we see bodies coming up. And so we talk about maybe this can be an opportunity at reconciliation. I do think reconciliation is on the table here for most of you that want it in the middle portion of the month, but not the way we did it before, because in the After Tarot deck, the bodies in the coffin are literally skeletons. So for those of you who are contemplating reconciliation, I do think that the opportunity is here for you, regardless of who this individual is, but we're not doing it the way we did it before. And the reason why we're not doing this, connection or relationship the way we did it before is because you have grown stronger through the process here. It's like you've been forged through fire in some way, almost like a phoenix rising from the ashes. So if this person comes back around again, I again do believe for most of you that they will, the overwhelming feeling is if they don't show up correct, if there isn't reciprocal energy here of love and time and commitment and loyalty, then I'm just dumping that cup and I just don't need it. If they come correct, I'm all for it. That's the feeling by the middle portion of the month. And again, for those of you who have lost someone, the overwhelming feeling is I need to get back to living. Final 10 days of the month, Nine of Swords to the Emperor. I'm going to read this two different ways for you. For some of you, this is you wondering if this person will return to you. They don't need to be an Aries, and they certainly don't need to be a masculine. But for some of you in that Nine of Swords, you could be thinking, is this person returning? Was I maybe too harsh with them? Maybe I'm trying to get them to be something that they're not. Don't do that to yourself. You deserve reciprocity in all of your connections, friends, colleagues, families, members, lovers, etc., etc. So in the last 10 days of the month, if maybe could be a discussion here between you and this individual, it might take them some time to come around, but I wouldn't don't let that feed into, oh my God, I haven't heard from them in a day or two. Maybe I was too harsh with them. No, you weren't. You now know your worth and your value in the Nine of Pentacles energy, and you have every right to ask for equal reciprocity in a connection. And if this person shows up correctly, which I do believe they will, then great. And if they don't, that Nine of Pentacles energy is, I'm good on my own. So don't be too hard on yourself when it comes to whatever, I don't want to say rules, but, I guess basically rules that it appears you're communicating to this person in the middle portion of the month. I want to say don't be too hard on yourself. This person will either show up correctly or they won't show up at all, but you shouldn't expect or accept less. Yeah, you should not accept less than what you deserve. For others of you, you are the emperor here. You're the emperor here, and the doubts, fears, and insecurities you have about this situation, environment, or connection, you're like, I did the right thing. I had to stand strong. So it's a little bit of a twofold message there. For some of you, you might get caught up in the, oh my God, did I do the right thing? Is this emperor/empress returning to me? Was I too hard on them? No, you weren't. And for others of you, when those thoughts creep in, you're really going to take control and say, nope, I absolutely know my worth and I did the right thing. And some of you are going to lean a little too much into the cup energy and feel sorry that maybe you were too hard on this person. And others of you are really going to stand in your power and be like, no, I did the right thing. And now it's just a matter of time to see if this person will show up correctly or not. The next thing we have here happening is an apology from this individual. King of Swords, they don't have to be a masculine and they don't have to be an air sign. Any sign is capable of communicating. And what this individual is communicating to you is an apology in the Page of Cups. This is, I'm sorry. If you notice in the Page of Cups in the After Tarot deck, the fish is jumping out of the cup. And this person is quite startled by it. So this could be, I'm sorry, I didn't know that you were that serious about that. You know, now I understand. I'm sorry I mistreated you. I'm sorry you're the friend that almost got away. I'm sorry you're the lover that almost got away. So I do think you standing strong in your power and getting back to nurturing yourself and moving forward with your life, laying some ground rules with this individual actually makes them show up. For like 90% of you, this person's going to turn around and do the right thing. For others of you, they're not. And that's okay. Then that just wasn't your person. That wasn't meant to be your friend. It's not a family member you're meant to connect with or the lover you're meant to be with. But for 90% of you that actually do this, yeah, you get a very sincere apology from this individual. And there's a lot of regret here that I'm feeling. Again, but it's because you know your worth and you're no longer going to lay there and be the doormat for this person and allow them to do this to you. And then we have the King of Pentacles to the Ace of Cups. The initial thing that you get is the apology. And by the end of the month, the last final days of the month, this person really comes through. This could be like buying you a gift. Could be for some of you a proposal of marriage if you're already married to this person. This could be them wanting to renew vows with you. I would take it slow because clearly you've been through a lot with this individual. But they're kind of upping their game. So sometime around, let's say the 20th of the month, you're worried about this. A couple days later, you get the apology. That's why I'm saying don't freak out if you don't hear from them. They need to digest whatever it is here that you have said to them. They need to process it. Some of you are on a different timeline and you're going to tell this person all this in the next week or two. And you might not hear from them, you know, might not hear back from them by the end of the month. But don't get caught up in your mind of, oh my God, it's been a week or two. This person needs to digest and process not only what you said to them, but what behavioral changes they need to make in order to show up correctly. So the apology comes in, and that's followed a few days later by, I don't want to say a more sincere apology, but I guess a more sincere apology and something more solid moving forward. And for some of you, like I said, this could be purchasing you a gift or talks about the future. If you're already married to this person, there could be discussion here about renewal of vows. Sneak peek now into August. I want you to take it slow with this person, friend, family member, colleague, lover, whoever this is that comes back around again, because you have leveled up. You're in pre-empress energy here, whether you're masculine or feminine. And even though you're looking at this individual as a possible counterpart to you, whether you think they're your soulmate or your divine counterpart, or you believe that this is a friend or family member that's on the same level as you, they're not. They make a great appearance that they are, but they're not. And I just want you to keep that in mind. This person is coming forward by the end of the month and putting in a good amount of effort here to change for you. But a leopard also doesn't change its spots. I hate to say that to you. So I just want you to take it slow. I think it's good that you're doing this because I think you need this for your own personal growth, to know your power, to stand up for yourself, to get back to living. I think all of that is well and good. But just because this person shows up for 4, 5, 6, 7 days at the latter portion of the month in their best form, don't ignore any red flags after that. I just want you to be on guard because I see what's happening here in August for you. If this is not related to an individual that is coming back around again, I want to go back to that storyline for those of you where someone has actually passed away, then I think you're just getting back to living here. It's that radical shift or change that I have to get back to living. This person wouldn't want me to sit around and cry over them. They'd want me to get back and enjoy life. And that respect, as hard as it is for you, because there's still a lot of mental exhaustion here occurring, thinking about the loss, I do see you powering up and moving forward. You're beginning to slowly open up your heart again to other avenues, other connections in your life, other projects you want to work on. And I do see you being more emotionally balanced by the end of the month. We go from that 5 of Cups, starting the month off with crying and the regrets and the remorse of losing the person, to the Ace of Cups, to that King of Pentacles energy. By the end of the month, feeling more emotionally balanced and really pouring into yourself, taking care of yourself and moving on with life, albeit slowly. So in that respect, for you, it's a good reading. Whether someone has passed away or you've had some type of emotional chaos or upheaval with someone in your life, you are faring far better in that scenario than they are, because they're struggling to show up in the way that you want them to. They're putting their best foot forward at the final 10 days of the month. But let's look at August. Now remember, energy is fluid and this could change, okay? But I just want to give you a sneak peek, because when things start feeling too good here, I don't want you to think that the worst is behind you. I don't think it is. The connection becomes burdensome again for you. We have the 10 of Wands and we have the Hermit energy here. This person showing up correctly seems to change. They're defaulting back to their bad habits, Seven of Swords. And I don't know what that Seven of Swords is for you. Maybe this person has an addiction issue and they're telling you that they're getting clean, and meanwhile they're not. I mean, you could be catching them in that. This person could go back to lying. They could go back to overpromising. There is a feeling here of them resorting back to some type of betrayal that is very burdensome on the connection that they have with you. So they have good intent here, but there's something within them that keeps bringing them back to something negative. And it's no fault of your own. You're going through the emotional healing. You're recalibrating yourself. You know your worth. You're moving towards life with great passion. You're getting back into the swing of things. And this energy here is just having a difficult time. They're stuck. Sevens for me in tarot is a very stuck energy. So the Seven of Swords, the Seven of Wands, this person doesn't know how to fully move on from their bad habits here. And Six of Pentacles, I feel like they begin giving you less. They come in very strong here at, like I said, latter portion of the month. By the time we're looking at the 3rd to 4th week of August, you're once again not receiving reciprocity from this individual. In the After Tarot deck, we have the Magician, the Tower, and the Chariot. I feel like you're doing everything you can here to make this situation work out. I think you're really trying to help this person, whether you're trying to help them get therapy, rehab, whether you're trying to counsel them. I think you're putting your best foot forward in this connection. I just think it's really difficult with this individual. For some of you, you're married to this person, or you definitely have a soul contract here with this person with the Hierophant energy. For others of you, this could be work related or someone at the workplace. I see you doing your best to try and manifesting help for this person, but you're not just hoping and praying that they, come out of whatever this negative behavior is that they keep engaging in. You're literally offering support. But I want to clarify that. Can you clarify? Because I feel like despite your best efforts, the Tower rolls in. What is the Tower here? And I think it's that bad behavior that they keep going back to. One more shuffle here, please, Anne. Thank you. The Tower. We have the Sun. We have the Knight of Cups. This is selfishness. Yeah, King of Wands. Because in the Knight of Cups in the After Tarot deck, the individual is drinking the cup. So maybe for some of you, this person has an addiction that to them makes them happy. And in that respect, they could be going back to the addiction, whether that's alcohol, drugs, porn, third party, whatever it is. It looks like they are back to, and you're finding this out, they're back to the bad habit, even though maybe they made a promise to get clean or sober or not do that anymore, or not, Six of Pentacles, like not breadcrumb you anymore. It looks like this person is very egoic in August. Maybe they think they could get away with it. It does look like they are retreating back to a bad habit. Why is the Chariot here? I do feel like they return back to whatever this is that caused the emotional collapse for you to begin with. One more shuffle here, please, and thank you. We're clarifying that Chariot. We have Strength. So at this point, we're now in Leo season. Queen of Cups, there you are. And we have the Nine of Wands. So this becomes now a repetitive pattern between you and this individual. This connection takes a lot of strength for you to endure it. I feel like, look in the After Tarot deck. I don't know if you can see it. The Queen is looking. She has the lid off of the chalice of love, right, that she's holding. And she's looking into it. And I kind of feel like what you're realizing is that this connection is emotionally depleting you yet again. She actually looks very solemn looking inside that chalice. So for some of you, it's kind of like, here we go again. The Nine of Wands is a card of patterns. And if you can look at the Nine of Wands here, yes, is this person by your side? They are, but you're kind of giving them the side eye because it's kind of like, I can't believe you're doing this again. Like after everything we went through and the discussion we had. So there's a bit of disappointment here for the Cancerian collective in August because this person is reverting back to these bad habits. So I typically don't do this in these readings, but this is obviously a very important connection to you. Otherwise, it wouldn't consistently come up in your readings. So I'm going to pull you some advice on what you could do in July to change this. Because there are things, I don't ever want you to look at a tarot reading and go, okay, that's how it's going to play out. I don't have to do anything about it. You do. You can change the future at any time. So let's see what you can maybe do in July to help this person, whether you decide to stay with them or not. This person clearly is engaging in something that is detrimental, not only to their connection with you, but just even the connection they have to themselves. If this message isn't resonating at all for you, I'm sorry, just check another placement. But there's a Cancerian watching that needs to hear this. So I'm going to draw advice from the regular deck that I use for you, but then also the After Tarot deck. So what is advice for Cancer when it comes to dealing with this individual? What can they do in July to alter this outcome? What can they do in July? Bottom of the deck, Justice. Justice, five of Wands to the Devil. This is almost giving me the feeling of an ultimatum. This is like giving this individual an ultimatum that you're willing to give them another chance, right, in that Judgment card. But if they show up incorrectly or they revert back to that behavior, you're done with them. The only issue with doing that is you need to have enough strength and fortitude to follow through with it. Because if August rolls around and this person does it again and you don't walk away from them, what you're teaching them is that they can do that pattern with you over and over again, and you'll just continue to lie there like a doormat and take it. And so that doesn't change the situation at all for you, unfortunately. So let's get some advice here for Cancer in July. How do they alter this? One more shuffle here. Thank you. Your advice, Queen of Wands, really going to have to stand in your power on this. This is fire energy. Queen of Wands, Page of Pentacles. That's communicating the hard truth, factual truth to this individual. Yeah, Two of Swords. Shooting your shot. Shooting your shot to tell it the way it is. Standing in your power. Giving this person Pentacle energy, right? Something real tangible that they can change here. High Priestess, Wheel of Fortune, Judgment. Look at those heavy hitters there. This is very much a call for the Cancerian collective to know their worth, despite the love that they have for this individual, and to stand in their power and to give this person an ultimatum. That's only if you want to change what appears to be occurring here in August. If not, just play out July the way you choose. And then, you know, when August happens, if it does happen, I guess you can take it from there. But unless you take a strong stand with this person, that cycle is going to repeat with them. Let's get a couple cards here from After Tarot. Let's get some cards here for Cancer, Sun, Moon, Rising, as well as Venus. Bottom of the deck, the Star card. So there is an opportunity here to heal this connection, but it requires you to stand really strong and firm with this person and really mean what you're saying. One more shuffle here, please, and thank you. In the After Tarot deck, we have the Four of Wands. We have the Eight of Swords. We have the Nine of Cups. And bottom of the deck, we have Two of Pentacles, Two of Cups, and again, that Page of Pentacles. So the message is really repeating itself. You're basically telling this individual, I want this structure and stable connection with you, Four of Wands. I'm willing to help you overcome whatever this challenge is for you, or I'm willing to do my part to help us overcome this challenge that we have in our connection so we can get back to being happy. But look at the Nine of Cups in this deck. This person is overindulging. So it's almost like if you revert back to that, I'll help you. I'll do whatever I can for you. I mean, you're giving this person a very sincere offer. And maybe for some of you, this is marital counseling, going to therapy, but it's kind of like, this is what we have to do to rectify this situation. And then one or two things happens. Either Two of Pentacles, I turn my back on you. Or Two of Cups, we come together. So again, both decks of cards, although different imagery, is giving the same message here of, I'm in this with you. I'm going to take that cat toy going off all by itself as a sign. I'm in this with you, and I'll help you overcome these challenges, but you have to meet me halfway here. Rehab, therapy, counseling, etc., whatever this has been for you. But again, you have to stand strong on it. Your victory is there if you do that. Four of Wands, Lovers, and Strength. But you're going to have to be really strong with this person. Otherwise, like I said, they resort back to bad behavior. And when they resort back to bad behavior, you need to correct them again and not let them slide on it. If you continue to let them slide on it, the pattern will just continue to repeat for you, unfortunately. Let's get you some oracle cards, and then we'll close off your reading with some kippers. One card here for the first 10 days of the month. And for those of you where, like I said, you did lose someone, it looks like you're healing and back in the game by the end of July. Just be careful. You're still emotionally fragile moving into August. And you could have energies of people around you that know that you're still healing, grieving that loss of that individual. They may try to take advantage of you. So be careful with any contracts in July, loaning people money. For those of you where you're grieving like the literal loss of someone, just be careful, because there's other energies around you that know that even though you're trying to show up in Emperor, Empress energy, they know inside you're still hurting, and you might be prone to some people maybe trying to take advantage of you. So for those of you experiencing that, just be mindful of that come August. The first 10 days, we have raise or promotion. I like this. It says, congratulations, an increase in your abundance flow awaits you. This doesn't just have to be financial. This, again, I feel like you're recalibrating yourself here emotionally. So it could be a raise or promotion in terms of spiritual ascension for you. Because again, by the time you get to that middle portion of the month, you are in Nine of Pentacles energy. This is a very much, I don't really need anyone in my life. I'm starting to feel good on my own. And if people don't come correct, then I guess I have no choice but to continue my life without them. So for a lot of you, this is a big lesson, I hate to say, was learned. Let's get a card here for the middle portion of the month for Cancer. It does say keep up the good work. You then have sever vows. Yeah. So for some of you, it could be severing the connection, spiritual connection with this person, or it could be putting this person on notice, giving this person one more chance. But really, again, having to hold firm that if they don't do this, you will cut the cord with them, basically. It says, dear one, there's no need to suffer or sacrifice yourself any longer. Hold the intention of undoing any vows that you may have made consciously or unconsciously in any lifetime. And as you do so, all effects of these vows will be undone for everyone involved in all directions for all time. So for some of you, you will just decide to abruptly cut this person off and get back to living. For others of you, like I said, you're grieving the loss of someone, you're going to sever the emotional loss. You're going to remember the person in a more fond way and less of a grieving way. So either way, and like I said, for others of you where you're giving this person a chance, your advice is pretty clear here that this needs to be almost like an ultimatum, that if they don't get it right this time around, they don't come to the table in their best form and put their best foot forward in this connection, that you would be willing to sever this connection with them. Lots of messages here for the Cancerian collective. One card here for the final 10 days, please. Thank you. I'm just going to take the one that showed itself face up. It says, take a divinely guided chance. All positive change and successful ventures involve a degree of risk. And that's basically what you're doing here. If you've lost someone, you're taking a risk to get back to living. But that's essentially what you need to do. For those of you that are cutting this individual completely out of your life, again, that's taking a risk, hoping that you have other soulmate connections out there that will be more beneficial to you. And in that case, you would be right. And for others of you where you are giving this individual another chance, this is just telling you to take that chance. But again, I go back to power of prayer here. All positive change and successful ventures involve a degree of risk. So you're taking a risk by welcoming this person back into your life. And again, I think that's why it's so important that this almost like this ultimatum here be given. As you leave behind that which is comfortable and familiar but no longer appropriate for you, you will make room for new and more meaningful opportunities. So for those of you, like I said, you've lost someone, you're moving on. Just know that there's other soulmates, soul bonds on your path. For others of you where you're severing the connection with this person because you don't want to put up with what they've done to you any longer and you're making the judgment call once and for all to end it, again, just know you have other soulmate, soul bond connections on your path. And for those of you where you're giving this person a chance, just know there's a degree of risk here involved that within the next 30 days, they're repeating that pattern. I think that's why you need to prepare a little better here. I'm glad we got those advice cards there for you, because maybe for some of you, the way you can avoid August from happening, the way it appears to be playing out here, is to offer this person a real tangible way to rectify their connection with you. But again, it's on the basis of an ultimatum, that if they don't, you're willing to walk away, and you'll have to stand strong with that. In the first 10 days, you got Dharma unfolding. Remember that you are on a path. Take one step at a time towards your happiness. Middle portion of the month, thank you, hope, love and acceptance. So love is yours. Recognize your divine worth. Choose loving thoughts. So for some of you where you have, someone has passed on, there's hope here. There's almost a feeling here of needing to accept the loss and getting back into the swing of things, getting back to living. And for others of you, you are accepting this person back into your life. You're hoping that they do the right thing. And one card here for the final 10 days of the month. And you have divine order. Do what you feel is right. An important lesson is unfolding. So again, whether someone's passed away and you're getting back onto living, just know that if you feel that's the right thing to do, it's the right thing to do. For those of you who want to completely sever the connection with this individual, if that's what you feel called to do, then that's what's right for you. Don't second guess yourself in that 9 of Swords. And for others of you where you're taking this person back, but you're giving them this hard line of needing to shape up or ship out, again, if that is what it feels right to you, then do it nonetheless. Regardless of what timeline you're on, and I feel like I'm speaking to 3 specific groups of you, just know that there's an important lesson unfolding here either way for you. And I think for most of you, it's feeling comfortable enough to be alone and letting go of people, particularly like these connections that no longer emotionally serve you or that take advantage of you. But again, you'll have to figure that out in your own time. For some of you, you're going to give this person another chance and they're going to screw up, and maybe you'll give them another chance. So maybe for some of you, it takes you a little bit longer to learn the lesson. But eventually you'll all get there on the right timeline. It's just everyone's moving, you know, at their own pace. But I want to say to you, do what you feel is right. Do what you feel is right. 2 cards here for the first 10 days. I thought we had a flipper. Guess not. Okay. You have Thief, and on its side is Coffin. So for some of you, if the person passed away, you could feel like you were robbed of this person. Why couldn't I have had more time with them? I do think that you're slowly healing from that connection that you lost. For others of you, this signifies the individual, friend, family member, like I said, colleague, lover, etc., that you're in this immense amount of emotional pain in the first 10 days of the month, because it's all the what could have been, what should have been. Should I end the connection? Should I try to revive it? So if you're feeling that, just know that that's normal, and don't rush yourself through the process of trying to figure out whether or not you want to reconcile with this person. I think everything becomes clear to you in the middle portion of the month. Okay. We have official person. That's you standing on business, either getting back to living or severing the tie with this person and moving on from them, or giving this individual another chance, provided, I guess, they agree to this ultimatum. And this is the other person, the mature woman. Doesn't have to be a woman, could be a man. This will signify for you the individual that either passed away and you're trying to get back to life without them. For others of you, this is the individual you're cutting off, or the person that you're giving a second chance to. You're either married to this person or you have a spiritual contract with them. And the final 10 days of the month now. For Cancer, final 10 days of the month. One more card here. Thank you. So we have toil and labor, and we have imprisonment. I think you're going to work really hard at trying to bring this connection back together again. Unfortunately, I feel like whatever this person is dealing with, they're like trapped in this. It might require more help than what you can give this person. You might need an outside third party to help this person. Whether you decide to stay in their life or not, it seems like this person needs someone else to help them. Again, therapy, counseling, rehab, and they may accept that and they may not accept that. But I think staying shackled to this individual is stifling your growth. Bottom of the deck, we have wealthy man, we have thoughts, and we have child, and then we have that message of concern here. I think you're the wealthy man, wealthy woman. I think you think a lot about this person. If this is someone who passed away, again, there's that feeling of nostalgia there with the child card, regardless of how old you were or this person was when you were together or they passed away. And for others of you, you are cutting this person off and rebirthing your life without them, but you're still thinking back, like, did I do the right thing by doing that? And for others of you, this is this individual contemplating this opportunity you're giving them to rebirth the connection with you. So lots and lots of messages here for the Cancerian collective. I just want you to know that you're coming through a very emotional time period, stronger and more solid than you have been. Whatever you decide to do in July, whether that's taking this person back or completely cutting them off will be different for all of you. I think as long as you stand in your power of that Nine of Pentacles and you know your value and you know your worth, you can't go wrong. Just do, at the end of the day, what is truly, truly best for you. That's what I have for you, Cancer, for July 2025. If you like any of those messages, they resonated with you, you want to claim all or part of them, please be sure to click like, share, and subscribe. And until I read for you again, I'm wishing you light, love, and peace.